everyone and welcome. So this is the hashtag PBC alphabet challenge and this is hosted by Hilary of Pink Bubble Cards. Last Wednesday she gave the prompt of gems, so J for gems, and I'm going to show you how to turn this template that I found from Pinterest into this 3D gem. So it's pretty cool. So hopefully this will help if you ever come across a template, especially when it looks like this. It looks quite complex. You're like, how am I going to figure this out, especially when that's all you have? So hopefully these little tips will help somebody to create a 3D project from a template. So what I've actually done is I found a template on Pinterest and I've printed it out, but I have printed it out on sticker paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out this image of the template and then I'm going to stick it on to some cardstock. And this is really thick cardstock. This is 270 GSM. So it's really thick and sturdy, and I'm going to do a ruby red. Now, because I've turned mine into just a 3D project, it doesn't really matter what colour is inside. But this one particularly that I got was, it was called a box diamond box or something. And yeah, it doesn't really work out as a box, so I just turned it fully into a 3D project, which is what I wanted initially anyway. But the ruby red is just there to remind me that I want to colour this into a ruby. So all I'm going to do is just cut out from the template along these black lines. And I'm just going to do that quickly now. So now that it's all cut out, the outline, I'm now going to stick this down onto the cardstock. So I'm just going to peel back the backing to this sticker, which I can grab here. I found doing it like this is so much easier than trying to figure out what the length of everything is, getting the scoreboard out, etc. So then I just pop that on there, and then just for ease, I'm just going to cut away some of this cardstock and take that away. And now I'm just going to cut around the outside so that we have everything onto the cardstock. Now that we have cut it out onto the cardstock, we want to go ahead and do the scoring. But first, I want to just make some more cuts. And these are here and here. On this box here, it's got the lines here. Now, made a few boxes in my time. I know that if I want to make this into a 3D object, I need to make sure that they are tapered inwards. Otherwise, I'm going to struggle when it comes to sticking the box together. And then also, I'm going to cut down these black lines here. These are cut marks, and that's going to help when it comes to the scoring. Like that. Now to do the scoring, all I'm going to do is use my ruler and my scoring tool. Is it a scoring tool? All I'm going to do is then follow the lines, and I'm just going to make 2 score marks. 1, 2, and then I can fold that and use my bone folder to create the crease. I'm going to do that on every single score line on this template. lines have all been scored. I've got options now for making the actual colour. You could have scored the lines the opposite way round, especially if you used a coloured card, and then just folding them up this way, and then you wouldn't have to worry about colouring it in or anything like that. But for me, I actually used alcohol markers on here because I liked that I could use them to create shadows and lightness onto the gem, which gave it a bit more of a realistic look. You could do this on the red card, but alcohol markers work best on white. But if you were using other mediums, if you wanted to paint it, for instance, or maybe use glitter and things, then maybe a coloured cardstock would work. But for me, I'm going to be using alcohol markers. And I actually use a 3 shades colouring system for this. So what I do is I start with my lightest red, which will be this one, which is 244. I know that these colours are all based off like colour Palatone, is it? Palatone is like the universal colour shading system. So unless you have like a brand like Copic or I can't say the word, Ahuhu. I do like Ahuhu markers. I have them in pastel. But if you just had generic ones, then all the colours are based off these number system. So I start off with my lightest, and then I go on to my next shade, which will be number 3. Gone for this one, rose red, this one's been called. And then I just colour around the edge, just leaving a small triangle in the centre. I only colour the tabs in just the first colour because they're tabs. Go around there like that, and then I take my darkest colour for the shadow and I just go around the edge of that triangle. And then to make it all, I call melt together, I take my lightest colour again, and then that just goes over everything. And then as that dries, you'll see the colours blend out. So I'm going to do that to all of this template, and then I'll come back and we'll stick it all together. Now that our ruby is all coloured in and it's dry so the ink isn't going to smudge, I've actually got my hot glue on now. If you wanted to take your time with it, I would recommend using wet glue. But just to save time, I'm going to use hot glue. Hot glue's been on a while now, so I'm just going to make sure all my tabs are all pointing in the direction I want them to. And then I'm going to start off with this portion here where the most tabs are. And then what I'm going to do is just take my hot glue, and then all it needs is a tiny dab, and then connecting together. And I just wipe away the glue strings as I go, but we all know you always find more afterwards. They just multiply like that. I absolutely love it when it all pulls together. This is the reason why I love 3D projects so much. I just feel like they just come alive. There are so many different shape templates as well that you could get. This is like more like a diamond shape, but I wouldn't really know what colours to use for diamond because kind of, I would say blue, light blue maybe. I just think this is a really fun project and something a little bit different. I'm going to add glue to this one now, and that's going to connect this bit here. Just taking my time because it's hard glue. Once it's stuck, it's stuck. And then we have, so at this point, this is where this would have become a box, but like I say, I don't think it was really built for a box. If I was to build a box, I mean, I have done a tutorial, not a tutorial, but I followed a tutorial for the ring pop way back, was that last January? And that was a better box. So I will link that video in the description box. But yeah, what I'm going to do is actually close this up. So to do that, I take my hot glue and I just apply it to all the tabs. Just a little bit. And it doesn't matter if I get any glue strings inside because nobody will see them. Like so, and then we want to make sure that all the tabs are going in at the same time, and then we just want to hold that down in place, and I'm just going to pull the glue wherever it may have landed, stick it outside like that, and now we have our precious ruby gem. So I feel really rich now. I've got rubies and emeralds. I think one printed off bigger than the other. But it just means you can make different sizes, shrink them, grow them, maybe add a little loop, and if it's Valentine's soon, say, hey, I bought you a ruby emerald ring. But I absolutely love them. I think they're so fun. Yeah, so that's how I make my 3D awkward shaped projects using a template. Thanks for watching, guys. I will link Hilary's channel in the description box below because this is part of the hashtag PBC alphabet challenge, and she is the host. She pulls out the prompts every Wednesday. I'm excited to go see what prompt is next because I'm really enjoying these fun little projects that are stretching my brain and challenging me. So please do go ahead and see what everyone else has made. You can do that by following the hashtag, and I will see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.